right, man.
Here. All right.
There we go. Hey, he's a
Sweet.
trip, man. He's a trip, man.
He's a good guy.
Yeah,
no, this is obviously not a PG rated stream anymore.
Yeah.
That's over.
Yeah, but anyways, really quick, your 2DR just asked what the history behind hexmobile is, and I kind of covered that briefly at the beginning, but let me just cover that again really quick because I feel like that's an important piece of the puzzle as you're kind of going through everything. And one thing too, I want to say, this guy here, D Biggie, he's saying, I don't know what he's saying and stuff, but yeah, I think there's nothing wrong with trying to inquire about a project that you're interested in investing in and trying to get down to it and, research it and figure out things about it. But I think without even looking into it, like without doing any research on your own, and then all of a sudden just complete extreme FUD, without looking into it, just seems super hypocritical. And and I feel like that's what happened last night. And it was just really
piling on.
Yeah. It was just just FUD, and just tons of FUD. Good texture. Just I don't know. He hates Hexy. I guess I don't know what it is, but it was just
maybe he's trying to protect Hex. Maybe it's hard. I believe that it's hard. It's in a good place that he's trying to protect Hex and the people that are going, in his perception, are going to be hurt by adopting into HXY. And if you're not in the Telegram and you're not following the Telegram, which all the information's at for HXY, you don't know what's going on. So it's probably not a good time to say that you know what's going on and tell everybody that what's up,
and also too,
why are you making comments?
Yeah, and it's hard to really, nobody knows in crypto what's going to happen. Like that's the truth. No one knows, these projects with whatever's going to happen. If anyone tells you they know for sure, it's a lie. But with Hexy and even with Hex, if you got in early, you had to kind of have that visionary kind of view of just kind of trying to see the future and trying to see and get into things early. And I feel like with Hexy, that's kind of you have to have that vision to kind of see it. And some people can, some people can't. Hey, maybe it'll work out, maybe it won't. I don't know, but you have to kind of do it. Yeah, definitely. I think there's a lot.
Project with a lot of inputs. So, yeah. Ryan, how do you feel about? Are you going to try to keep positive on your channel about all this? Because I'm going to stay positive about Hex and stay positive.
Oh yeah, dude. Yeah, man.
I don't want to start a war.
No, dude. Yeah. No, man. Earlier I had Black Sheep on, and he just he started going on and whatever, and that's kind of how he is. I'm not trying to pick fights with people or anything like that. I just kind of wanted to talk, and I feel like since it's kind of fresh, it's new, which we just kind of had to talk yesterday, might as well kind of come on and try to get some people from Hexy, because I feel like the environment on the Discord syndicate, it's kind of not really like a Hexy favor, or to go on there and talk about it is kind of like being attacked. Kind of want to just do it in like a different, I don't know.
I'm pretty sure RG has a Hexy bag. I can't say for sure, but that's what I've heard. So I think I don't know. Do you know? Did Lotto or Michael get a hold of you about doing a live stream with talking about the project and kind of clearing some things up? I know there's some talk in the chat.
Once we're gonna do a live stream, but once like everything with the UI straightened out and kind of everything's kind of good, gonna go on there. And real quick again, this guy year 2D2R. Now he asked what's the history behind hexmobile, and I was just about to go into that, but yeah, I feel like that's a good kind of thing, and I just went into this earlier on the stream. I kind of do it again here. But because Michael he told me about it, and it's a long story. And Mike's the guy who got on last night, and he's kind of like he was the guy who did the hexmobile app. But like I just said, I just told a story, but he was following the chat really close, everything like that. And then working on the app, they released the very first version, the beta launch, and then the guy Paul from Hex Stakes kind of dropped out, and he was left short and he was trying to kind of get the app done, release it, and he didn't have a dev, And then he just kind of like, and then searching, and then he came across Lotto, and then everything just kind of clicked. And that's kind of how the whole Hex business ecosystem kind of started, you know. But it was, you know, a long process there.
Yeah, I've been doing beta testing. I don't know if you're in the beta testing group for the mobile app. It's pretty slick. It works well. I think that, you know, it could use a couple of tweaks with the kind of how it looks, but I think it's going in the right direction. And I want to respond to a question from the chat last night. I know Firebun was looking for stats on onboarding and stuff. I don't really have all that information because I'm just doing the front end testing. But if you run into Firebun or you can message him, you can just talk to Kevin over at hexmobile. Kevin, one of the devs, I'm sure he has some sort of stats. So I tried to respond in the chat last night. I'm not sure it got to Firebun, but he's quite interested in what's going on with that mobile. And I know, isn't Hex working on a mobile app as well?
I think Hex Mobile is the mobile app.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that is, because you can interact with the contract and everything from that. So I feel like that's the main app for Hex.
Cool.
I believe. And real quick, since you're on stream, let me just kind of pull up your channel here.
Oh,
let me try to.
Yeah. I've been holding back on doing a video for Hexy. After last night, I'm like, maybe I shouldn't do a video so quick.
Yeah. Let me see here.
Well, first of all, I want the 20% referral to be clear. And then also, I think that's gone through. So we got 20% referrals on transforms now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, good.
That went through.
The UI for HXB would be nice. I mean, I'll do a video coming up, but
yeah,
I kind of want to jump on with you, kind of get your perspective, because I know you've been into a lot of different projects over the years, and you've seen a lot of different altcoins and stuff with you know, the ICOs, and I'm not sure how long you've been on YouTube. I'm recent, but
yeah, I've been on for, I think, like 3 years in crypto, really? Kind of on and off. And yeah, I mean, I like to try to really research a coin before you get in, but it's hard because there's so many variables with every project. There's tons of variables. That the whole ecosystem of cryptocurrency, it's always changing. It's always, you have to kind of adapt. Yeah, I was in tons of projects. I was really into like the micro cap coins. Like really small cap ones and kind of different things. Privacy coins, is get into those for a bit, and then eventually just kind of came across Hex, and then I was like, man, this one's really different. Then kind of got into that and everything, and then just recently kind of got into Hexy here. But yeah, I mean, I like getting in different projects here and there and doing just researching different kind of things, you know. And one thing too is, you know, I feel if anybody you know, if anyone wants to get into any project or whatever, that's fine. I'm not going to get mad at anybody. If, you know, if they want to invest in that or get in that or that, that's fine. I'm not going to sit here and tell people you can't buy that. How dare you? You're going to lose all your money. Or no, just do your own research, and that's all that, you know, that's all that I have to say with that. I feel like it's just, I feel like you shouldn't kind of get mad at people for buying things and whatnot. It's their own money,
right?
You know. So, and yeah, here I have your channel pulled up here for everybody. Andre 369 Crypto. Yeah. So yeah, and I saw do you speak Spanish then, or?
I work in kitchens. So I've worked in kitchens for several years, and so I pick up a little kitchen Spanish, and then I tried to I got a break here, a 3-month break. You know, thanks to I'm not sure what we can say. You know, the thing that shuts down all businesses in the United States. That thing that's going on. So I took a 3-month break and dove headfirst into Hex business, and that kept me busy. And then I got called back to work. So anyway, we'll work that out after big payday, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Give them a pink slip. But as far as Spanish goes, I found Johnny on YouTube, and maybe I saw him on social media first, and he was really starting to get into Hex and then into Hex business. So I started following him and getting in the chats, and like you, I was working on my Spanish, and I find, you know, he's bilingual, obviously, and so, you know, I share his videos because I feel there's a bit of a lack in the American Hex community, or maybe the English speaking Hex community, for access to Spanish, and you know, I know Hex has a Spanish chat. I don't believe HEXBusiness does. So I share his videos and then I participate in the live streams and, you know, try to keep up with the chats and stuff like that. But he's doing a really good job with
Dude, he's doing awesome, man. He's doing really good, I think.
THETA, he's on D Live. He's doing a lot of streaming on blockchain already with, you know, and, you know, it's not in danger of his YouTube channel. He's just, that's what he does. And I like his energy too. And,
yeah, he's good, man.
So yeah, I work on my Spanish a little bit, and I, you know, they don't make fun of me too much, so it's nice.
Yeah, I went on a couple of his streams. I think I went on his, was it his last or a few days ago? A few days ago, yeah, I went on one, and then I went on one like officially, I think a couple of weeks ago on his, and it was fun, man. I had a blast. I think you posted one of them. Where's that? And yeah, he's really cool to talk to. Sometimes my Spanish is kind of shitty, and he's just like, oh yeah, it's cool, you know.
But your last name is Lopez, bro.
Lopez, yeah. Okay. But it's, you know, yeah. I mean, yeah, I could.
Spanish in Colombia?
Yeah.
Or no, it's English.
English down there. Yeah,
oh, that's easier.
Yeah, man. Yeah, that was awesome down there. 2 years, and then kind of got back into the U.S. and then hopefully I'll return back down soon.
I think my biggest issue with Spanish is forming complete sentences. And you know, obviously vocabulary, but what's nice about crypto is most of the words are interchangeable. So even if you're listening to a stream where he's talking really fast, it's like you can pick up what's going on. It's like, okay, you're transforming. All right, gotcha. Because those words, you know, go through the two languages, or crypto does. And so I enjoy it, but I'm sure there's other languages too. I just don't speak those. I mean, I'm sure there's Romanian hex out there. I don't know.
There's where's that? Let me find it here. Anybody who's Hex, I subscribe to their thing. Abit Hex, I think that's how you pronounce it. Okay. He has a channel. It's pretty good, and I like his thumbnails. And his is in German.
Oh, okay. Yeah. He's got a Telegram or an Instagram channel, right?
Yeah.
The Hex Germany.
Yeah. Well, actually, I don't know if that's him that runs it. Maybe it's somebody else.
Okay.
I'm not sure, but yeah, the German. You know, there's a lot of Germans in Hex, and they're very active, and I like that, you know. So yeah, he's in it there. And let me go back to, where's yours? I had yours on there. I have so many people anymore. There we go. But yeah, and with this video today, I'm not trying to. I don't want to stir anything up or anything, or just forward. You know, I still want to keep everything peaceful, man. I'm a peacekeeper deep down. I'm not here to attack or anything like that.
Yeah.
And yeah, I had Black Sheep on earlier, and he was just going crazy, but you know, that's Black Sheep. You know, he's just gonna, you know,
cool.
Yeah, that's Black Sheep.
His puppy loves him, good. So that's good.
Yeah, it's all good.
But yeah, I'm kind of the same way. I'm thinking, I like to focus on the positive. And the biggest positive part of what I'm doing with Hex Business, I believe, is the community. I think the community far out passes anything that I've been in other than Hex. I mean, the Hex community is pretty solid. You can't deny that. The Hex community is solid.
Yeah. Oh yeah, dude.
But the Hexy community, with all the fun in the beginning that we got, and then, you know, now this, I think it's really going to solidify our family a little bit better.
So tell me more about, you know, with Hexy at the beginning. Was there like, because I joined kind of at the end of V1. That's when I started that's when I started really researching it. But at the beginning, I don't know, kind of like how was that at the beginning? Was it very kind of, I don't know, fuddy, or I wasn't following it too close at the time.
Well, they got the new kid on the block thing. It's like, what are you doing? You know, what are you going to do with Hex? You're not, you know, that usual thing that comes around. The same thing that happened to Hex coin when they started coming out, all the FUD. It's kind of the same thing. I mean, what Good Texture brought out last night is a little different version of it, dealing with the, you know, kind of the ICO kind of dangers and that sort of thing. But you know, they had, I jumped on the hexmobile testing first when they were rolling it out. And it's like, you know, you could understand that they were kind of behind. They lost some traction because of the loss of that initial dev or whatever happened in the beginning. So they were trying to catch up. And looking from the outside in, I'm like, I just want to help. I'm not a dev. I don't write program. I don't write code. I can test products. I can look at things. I can see, you know, how it works out. And so that's how I contribute. And then I started the YouTube channel to kind of put forward some of those mobile apps. And then I started doing live videos about
Hex, nice, man.
And sharing content about Hex as well.
Half and half. think that's cool. I think it's cool you share Johnny's in Hex Spanish. And real quick here, it looks like there's a few comments. So Stinger says that the Genesis whale, which I went over that in my last thing, the 666D one. Yeah, he has 105,000 hexy. So yeah, and okay, Real Hex. I said, who is this guy? Andre. This is Andre, and he has his
some idiot.
Yeah. So
I just showed up.
Yeah. So Real Hex, what's going on, man? Hey, if you want to join the stream and chat for a bit, let us know. More than welcome to hop on. I'm probably not gonna stream. I'm not gonna stream for too long here because it's late. I didn't really even sleep too good last night. Let me see. Valiant Brand might come on. Can you link to the channel? Let's see here. Yeah, if anyone else wants to come on, and I don't want anything crazy or violent or attacks. It's just normal, civilized talk.
Yeah, we're all gentlemen, right? And ladies. Yeah. I mean, there are some ladies somewhere. In Hexy, there's ladies in Hexy.
Is there? Oh yeah, Hex Girl.
Yeah, Crypto Girl's an admin.
Or Crypto Girl is her name.
Yeah, she's an admin.
Bit jet lag boost. Yeah, dude. Yeah, and honestly, I wasn't even going to come on tonight because I'm tired. I'm really tired. I was up until with that stream, I think 4 a.m. or 4:30. So I'm on Eastern time.
Oh, okay.
So it just screwed everything up. And then, but just got to do it, got to keep going. And maybe Valiant Brand might get on for a bit. But yeah, man, I think I like what you're doing with your channel. I think that's cool. And I really think the one thing I really do like is that you're mirroring or you're reposting or showing Johnny's content, man, because I really think that's one thing that a lot of people...
I asked them first. I mean, people give me a lot of crap about, some people in the comments, obviously, the comment section sometimes is interesting. It's like, well, you're just stealing other people's stuff. I'm like, well, Richard Hart actually encourages people to clip up his shows and put them on. So I do that. And then Johnny, I asked him, I'm like, hey, can I share your stuff? I got a lot of Americans that might be interested in your content. And he's like, he was all for that. Obviously, more eyes on his stuff. So, and plus, it gives a little variety to my channel as well, because it's only like a month and a couple of days old if you think about it. I've only launched this, I think, May 15th or something. So I kind of hit the ground running a little bit.
What I
don't understand, or what I need to wrap my head around a little bit more is the StreamYard OBS thing and restreaming it and DLive and all the other stuff. So once I got a mic and I'm doing this off my mobile, but once I get the webcam set up, we can do some streaming over here. I want to get Michael on and Lotto, and just to have a conversation, just get, not to air things out, but just to
have a normal talk.
They did a Discourse Syndicate earlier with Hexologists. Michael and Lotto were on there, and it was well received, stream. And then this one last night, I'm like, holy shit, what happened? What happened?
Yeah,
and
that was crazy.
Talk, which I agree. I think that's a good idea. If you got people in the room, you're gonna have to let them talk. But
yeah, so what's your opinion on this current price action with Hex right now?
On the Hex?
Yeah, because
I think it's gearing up for a July pop, kind of like, Bitcoin's obviously manipulated a lot. I think that, looking at the Bitcoin chart and how they're all a little bit of July might be the pop off date. I'm not sure why. Do you think that there's people selling their Hex to get out, or they're
I don't know.
It doesn't look like a lot of big sells on that.
No, it's very, like, the volume right now is very low. If you look down here, it's very low. So it won't take a lot of volume to break it out in either direction. So I think if I would call this like an outlier event where if a big whale comes in, they can really move the price in either direction, up or down. And I think we're getting to that point now. There's pretty much like no volume at all. So
what's your third line on that level, the bottom line?
I drew these at 0.003, 0.0025, and 0.002.
Okay.
But let's see here.
Last time we hit 0.002 looks like February.
Yeah, well, I was kind of, this is what, who knows if this is going to happen or not, but I was I had this here like 70%, 37 days.
Yeah.
And then over here, let's see.
Yeah,
if we do 70% again, it's longer time frame now, but if we do 70% again, that'll bring us down to 0.002. I don't know. I don't know if we're going to reach that low. Who the heck knows? Who knows, man? You know, price action is price action. You can't fight the trend.
What other whales are in Hex Business? We got 66D and we got a couple other big whales, right?
As far as Hex Business, I'm not sure, but
yeah, there's a couple.
But for Hex for Hex, there's 4 of them. There's 4 for sure in Hex. And the thing is with it, well, I went into detail with Omar on the last one, but the 666D Ethereum Genesis whale, he was, out of all the whales in Hex, he was the heaviest. He was the heaviest one, and he got 440,000 Ethereum. So and this thing keeps beeping. I gotta turn the notification on. But yeah, he got 444,000 Ethereum in the Genesis block. So I mean, that's crazy, man. That's like, you know how much Ethereum that is, and
at 1,300 or at 1,800.
Or yeah, that's so much, man.
Yeah,
that's crazy. Here's the thing. I'll pull this up here. This is the thing I was kind of just. I put this together. I just started doing this now. Kind of just watching this with the stats, and you know, I'm just kind of just tracking the frozen supply, circulating supply, locked stays the same. And let me see here. Micro stake. This is my micro staking thing. Which I did this kind of as an experiment in Hex. Just to kind of gauge it, to see kind of, you know, if Hex goes exponential, if you know, if you can really make just crazy gains off of little, like just a small amounts of Hex way into the future. So with this one, I don't know if you, but I did about I did 500 Hex, 500 Hex on the first of every month for 15 years. So it just did, you know, 500 Hex, 500 Hex, 500 Hex. Just tracking it to see. But anyways, I've been tracking it. It's making about 65 Hex a day, which is like 20 cents a day at the current rate. So I mean, who knows? You know, that's just an experiment with, you know, I don't know if there's going to be any good return. Who knows on that? But
I've seen your staking ladder too. It's a little bit more aggressive than that. Is this a test account?
This is a different ladder that I did. It's a micro staking one.
Your main one has spikes down the line.
Like oh yeah, my main one. I took about 3 months making that one.
Wow.
And it's just like,
I just throw money at the contract. I'm like, hey, I got an extra Hex. Let's go 5,555 days. Boom.
Yeah. Yeah. And you know, and designing
every stake.
Every stake. I've said before too, like there's no correct way to design your own staking ladder or whatever. Or you just gotta kind of go with whatever you feel is right, whatever time horizon is good for you, and just kind of go with it and try to. I tell people like something like this one, just get an amount you're comfortable with and split it up into like months or whatever, years if you want, like every year, once every month, 4 times a year, something like that. But I did this thing here, so let me see if I can pull this up.
Yeah, looks good. Zoom. Do you have a lot of people approaching you for questions after they've been onboarding? Do they come to your channel or I don't know, I guess you get referrals. So do you have a lot of folks that'll
not really no not really, and I don't really get referrals, and I'm not even trying to do this to make money. I like to kind of try to just help people out, just genuinely help them out. And I like to try to, you know, if they're stuck about their MetaMask or something, just, you know, hey, you know, this is how you do this, or trying to kind of get people in, or and I try to tell them like, hey, this stuff is very it's you know, it's very risky. This stuff is very risky, and you know, like just cryptocurrency in general. But I like trying to kind of get people into their MetaMask, stuff like that, just help them out. And then if anyone has questions with staking or this or that, but again, it's not like my advice is the number one, or it's accurate. No, I tell people, hey, anything can happen. Like you know, like nothing. There's nothing guaranteed at all, and you just got to kind of get your own game plan together. Let me see this. Let me see here. Hexy stats. This is one I made here for Hexy. This is my own personal kind of track and whatever. I already have all my stuff. I showed the amount I have before, but I track it day by day. Kind of, as you can see, I got in here kind of late. You know, the last 2 days of V1.
Wow, that's an Excel spreadsheet. That is pretty. That's pretty. That whole Excel spreadsheet, man, is just fun to look at.
Yeah. And but you know, and so I have like this column, or let me see, this green one, total USD divs for the day. So, you know, at the end of V1, that, you know, the FOMO was really intense because everybody, it was just about to go to the next thing. But then you know, there's that whatever 12 days for the migration, and then like the divs kind of here, they started off pretty good, and then now they've kind of been going down. But I was talking with Lotto too, and he said, you know, with the ecosystems and divs, they speed up, they slow down, speed up, slow down, and right now we're just kind of on a slowdown, you know, as we're kind of getting everything, you know, laid out. But what was I gonna? Let me see. There's that.
One thing I wanted to bring up, not to beat a dead horse or anything, but the negative feedback loop of not lower divs, people transform less, buy off of Uniswap because it's half price, and then not transform, then lower divs, and people unfreeze and then sell on Uniswap, and it's just a downward spiral. Okay, first of all, let's think about the total supply of 60 million of these tokens, and the fact that they pay 36.5% if you're frozen on itself. So it prints its own token that will knock down the supply. With the transform, if I get this correctly, I believe that the transform bonus, 20% transforming bonus, that those are automatically locked for 30 days.
Yes.
Your bonus token.
Yes. Right? Yes. Yes.
And they're working on the UI so that shows up on the UI correctly, because I know it showed up on Etherscan, but now I believe it's being cleaned up. So
so I think there's the, you know, a couple things, couple UI glitches that they're working on right now, trying to get those straightened out. And then also with the app, the mobile app, they're trying to get, because now that there's a new contract with the 20% referral, so they're trying to get that activated onto the mobile app. And I think
there was a test flight update today. I think we're on 2.0.2. I'm not sure what the updates were because I was at work, but I think they're trying to integrate the UI 20% bonus into the mobile app and get all of that straight. So,
so that's all in the works. But again, it's a full-time job just going through all the information, everything that's going on with Hexy. Really, it is. And one of the channels which I have shouted out in the past before. Let me pull up. Let me do a new tab here. I just let me just for anybody, because it kind of, hold on, why is this kind of, and then I want to get into the Ethereum whales really quick. But if there's anybody kind of whatever wants to kind of has questions, let me see this passive crypto show. When I first getting into Hexy, and he puts a lot of time in. He really does. He puts in a lot of time, a lot of effort, a lot of combing through all the messages in Telegram, and it's a good kind of just like specified like point, a source of information. So if you're, you know, kind of like trying to really do your own research and get through and stuff, and I feel like his is it's a good source. So that's, you know, for anyone who has questions, that's kind of who I would recommend. And then now getting in here onto that, just want to touch on these Ethereum, and another one here. Let me see. I wasn't even going to really stream tonight because I'm kind of tired, but let me see. Silver the Antidote. I think he came out with a new video today, actually, which I didn't see yet, but definitely check out his channel. He did some really some deep dives.
I think he posts. He's on GMT. I don't know if he's London time or what, GMT or UTC. So his posts are a little bit off from ours. But what's nice about what IP Passive Crypto Show does with his channel too is he'll go through, and I try to keep up on the Telegram and post things in my videos about what's going on with the Telegram specifics, pin messages. You know, don't buy V1 tokens because they're junk, because we've switched to V2. And
and I saw there were still people, I think, buying V1.
On.
It's like, man, these people are like, really, you're still buying V1 tokens?
Well, maybe there's a market. I don't know. Maybe that's
Well, no, actually, but there's not, because I tried. I looked because I saw, man, is it really this price? I have like kind of a lot of these. So I went to Uniswap to V1, and I was like, oh,
I thought they got burned. They didn't burn in the beacon?
No, you still have them. You still have them in your wallet. But the thing is that it's worthless, and it's not even liquid at all.
That's interesting.
Yeah. So it's
but I was
not.
Gonna say about Passive Crypto Show has a Telegram.
Oh
chat that just covers updates.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Because t.me/passive crypto show.
Right.
That's
nice.
Definitely. Like,
instead of reading 5,600 messages, I just read 12.
Yeah.
So that's cool. Well, I don't read 5,600 messages either. So.
And he really does a great job. Come on in, man.
You know, people were funning him too. It's like, oh yeah, you were getting divs because you got 13,000 hexy. It's like, dude, you could have had 13,000 hexy too. If you started by a lot, I guess you got to buy a lot of them, but they were working for a while.
Yeah, he was doing good, man. He was really he was like compounding it and stuff. And I think one of the Ethereum whales, they use his ref link, and
that's what happened.
Yeah, I believe so. And I wanted to show here with Silver the Antidote. He has his little series here, which I think he did a great job. Really, this guy Silver the Antidote, really getting into just like really doing a deep dive on Hex. Some really interesting. I mean, he must have done a ton of research, a ton. But anyways, that's how I got with the what's it called here? With the Ethereum, with the Genesis whales. He's the one who found that there was 4 Ethereum Genesis whales in Hex. And he even went as far as getting their payouts, like of how much they received. And it looks like we may have some special guests in the green room. And let's go ahead and pull them on here.
Do I put on my mask?
And hey, what's going on?
What's happening, Ryan? How you doing, mate?
Hey, good, man. How's it going?
Good, mate. Good. Just fighting the FUD and everything as usual.
Yeah. It's been crazy. Yeah, this is HEXLotto.
Yeah, that's right.
Lotto, what's happening?
Yeah.
How you doing, people? Thanks for all the support and everything as well. It's really good to see. But
definitely. Yeah, it's been crazy, man.
Yeah, we're just here to try and fight some of this FUD. We're not even out the starting gates yet, and we're getting all this, and it's like we just need to put things right basically, and just tell people like chill out. We're 6-7 weeks into this project, so they just need to give us a chance and let us do our thing basically. There's a lot of talk saying like V1 and V2 weren't completed projects and they were ICOs. They weren't ICOs at all. Like they never were an ICO. V1 when it launched was a complete project. So it may have had some centralized parts to it with the dividends, but that was it. It was a completed project. It paid interest. It paid dividends if people transformed. It paid dividends if people used the mobile application. It done everything it was meant to do. V2 is now like fully immutable, just like Hex is. So, and it does exactly the same thing. So, we're not here to fight people and cause wars. The thing I'm pissed off about at the moment is we've come out to assist Hex. We've built a whole ecosystem. And when we say an ecosystem, we've got like loads of Dapps that are already coded. Every iteration of like V1 to V2, we haven't been able to launch them Dapps because the later iterations of V2, we have to then go and like change them Dapps so they can be plugged into V2 basically.
Sorry about that. Sorry about that, Michael. I didn't see you there in the green room there. Sorry about that.
but yeah. So at the end of the day, what we're doing is we're just doing our thing at the moment, and because there's been a couple of low div days. Divs aren't guaranteed through transforms; they're more like a bonus. So the only way you're going to get divs through transforms is if people use a transform lobby. That transform lobby should become like more appealing as the ecosystem grows. If people want to sell out now, let them sell out now. They'll probably be stupid for doing that. But at the end of the day, we're not gatekeepers. We're not stopping anybody from doing that. There's liquidity there on Uniswap for them to be able to do that. Obviously, we'd like people to stay on board and come along for the ride. But at the end of the day, we can't change people's minds what they want to do. We've got this Discord syndicate going on at the moment, and it seems like what is all that about at the minute? We've built this whole ecosystem on top of Hex. And it's like what these people are failing to realize is, for some reason, they think we're just pegged to hex. The only thing with hexy that is pegged to hex is the price.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
That's what I was saying earlier. Is like
so the market price of hexy is how we ascertain what the transform price is. So if it's 2,000 hex, we get that ABI from Uniswap, and then it converts what that 2,000 hex is worth in Ethereum and USDC. Now this is the thing. What people don't realize is hexy's like market cap at the minute, or on its circulating supply, is around 685 million, I believe. So we accept Ethereum. Do people know what like the market cap of that is? It's like over 25 billion. So we've got a liquidity pool there where we can onboard them people. 25 billion's worth. That dwarfs hex. Like hex is built on top of Ethereum. We now accept Ethereum. What do people think can happen? So, and 90% of people that onboard with Ethereum, 90% of that goes out to the community. So, I mean, we've done some figures earlier, and it's to wipe out the whole of the transforms of hexy, it would cost, or it would take the equivalent of 159 billion hex. Now, are we saying we're going to take 159 billion hex? No, we're not saying that. What we're saying is it's the equivalent. So because we have USDC and Ethereum, we can also use them liquidity pools. We can onboard new users from them liquidity pools, So at the end of the day, that 159 billion hex as well is actually much lower because we give 90% of it back out. So if you look at it, that 90% goes back out as dividends, it's far less than 159 billion hex that needs to actually complete round 10. And that's where we're at the minute. I think there's a lot of confusion and a lot of people saying, "Oh, they're never going to get around 10. This is never going to happen. That's never going to." They haven't even let us release like a few Dapps.
Right. Are you guys able to hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, good. Yeah, and I tell you, Marco knows this system. It's his. This has come out of his brain, and he can just go and go.
Hang on, can I just say something? It's not my system. It's not my system. I designed it. So that's what I mean. Straight as well, because this is what Michael is doing. He's going on live streams and he's saying things that are actually legally incorrect. So me and Michael, we don't own any of hxbusiness.
No, not at all.
We don't own none of it. It's not. It belongs to a company.
But as a designer, it's come out of your brain, is what I'm saying.
Yeah. As a designer, so I've designed it. Michael was responsible for the mobile app. This is the thing, but this is the thing. People are jumping on certain aspects of things and saying, "Oh, this was an ICO." No, it wasn't an ICO. It was never an ICO. It was 100% fully fleshed out, finished product. Now we have to look at hexy, the main contract, as the finished product. If other dApps can join that, that's cool. But if you're going to release an ecosystem, a whole ecosystem or an economy of dApps, it's never going to come out as a completely finished ecosystem, is it? Because economies don't work like that. There's always things that come in and there's always things that can go. So that's just what we are. We're just an economy of dApps. But the actual core function is hexy, and hexy is 100% complete. It doesn't matter what anybody wants to argue about out there. It is 100% complete. The code is immutable. It is on Everscan already. It is verified on Everscan. It has been audited 3 times. So at the end of the day, the code is out there. It's already on Everscan. It can't be changed. It is 100% complete. We need to get that point out there, like first and foremost, to anybody who tries to say we're an ICO. We had people join our group and try to make out they're on our side, and they're in our own chat as an admin trying to say we are an ICO. And it's like, dude, I'm not going to mention any names who done that, but at the same time, I'm like, who is this person in our admin chat? We got people saying this person was meant to be for us and everything. No, you're going completely against what we are. We're not an ICO. We've never been an ICO. So at the end of the day, we just need to clear these things up. It's horrible to have to come out and be defensive as well, because what I feel like it does is it kind of like takes everything away from what we are. And there's a lot of closed-minded people in crypto at the minute, and I get it because a lot of people get scammed. And I've been there, I've been scammed. I know what it's like. So the way I designed this ecosystem, Michael's obviously responsible for like mobile or whatever. The way I designed this ecosystem was that it had like infinite possibilities, and that's what we've done. that's what we've launched. We've launched a contract that has infinite possibilities. You know, there we can literally like onboard so many dApps. It's like, you know, unreal. Basically, we can have so many third-party dApps, and every single dApp that plugs into our ecosystem can benefit Hexy holders who freeze. And I think a lot of closed-minded people are ruling that out. And, you know, yeah, we're going to have bad days of divs. We're going to have good days of divs. We've already seen that in V2. We had one day that I think dwarfed both 2 days on the trot, you know, after a bad day. So, of course, we're going to have this. And yes, the price on Uniswap is going to like reflect whether people transform or not. But, you know, here's a little thing that I'm talking about, right? If people want to look at it like an economy, which is exactly what it is, it's an economy of smart contracts, well, then treat it like one. Don't all be closed-minded and think, oh, if the price is half price on Uniswap, I'm only going to go and buy on Uniswap, and then complain when you don't get dividends through transforms. Why doesn't everybody use their brain and say, well, I'm going to put 40%, I'm going to buy 40% off Uniswap and do 60% through transforms? Now, if everybody thought about this for a minute, if every single person in our ecosystem who's already using Hex money did that, what do you think is going to happen?
Oh, it's going to be an increase.
The price is going to go skyrocket.
Yeah, and this isn't financial advice. This is more like, you know, just it's a scenario that if people use this scenario or attempted to use this scenario, or what I'm explaining,
it's just the smartest way to do it for the ecosystem. Yeah.
Well, the price on Uniswap's going to go up, and the transforms are going to get eaten through quicker. So it's like, you know, but everybody doesn't in crypto doesn't think like that. They're thinking, I want to buy cheap Hexy, but I also want loads of dividends. Well, it's like you can't have the best of both worlds, can you? It's like you know, at the end of, if you want good dividends, then transforms at this time, you know, when we get out as a, you know, when we launch more dApps, there's going to be a lot more things feeding Hexy. I think what we've achieved in like just under 2 months is unbelievable. I've seen so many projects that didn't even launch or didn't get even like over the gate. And, you know, even going back to the ICO days or whatever, they raised millions and millions. You didn't even see a product. They just done one.
I agree. I agree. You guys are real. It's like just one thing after the other, just like launching, releasing different thing. It's been like, man, it's just like
something is always being worked on. Something is always being worked on. And whether it's Hexy Dex
is the
win or Hex. Yeah.
The innovation in things like the lossless casino, and I get it, it's not launched yet, so they can't see it. But when it does launch, it's like there needs to be some sort of like credit there for it, because at the same time, to even launch, how many casinos can you go to at the minute and, you know, play how many casinos are lossless at the minute? I don't know that many.
Yeah, I don't know. I know there was some in Tron, but I mean, I never even played the casinos in Tron. I don't even know.
You know, we've got a lossless lotto coming out. You know, nobody will ever lose any principal hex, and even like, you know, the people that do win and any fees, it comes out the interest. So whatever happens, you're going to pull out the same amount as what you put in, even if you don't win. So that, you know, that's 100% lossless. We've also got Lotto Rocket, which is an amazingly designed DApp. You know,
but so tell me more about that rock, because I've heard about that, the Rocket game. It's where you kind of you have to kind of bet that the Rocket's going to surpass a certain.
No, it's not that. It's actually, so we've got 2 forms of lottery basically at the moment. We've got HEXLotto Rocket and we've got HEXLotto Stake. HEXLotto Stake takes advantage of like the bigger pays better pool. So basically what happens is everybody can stake their hex in one of the bigger pays better pools. And basically when the threshold of 150 million is right, it doesn't actually have to take advantage of the bigger pays better pool. It can be any stake on hex, but people can collaborate and go into that pool together basically. And then what happens is, however much the interest is on that pool, we can like split that prize pool between like 3 players or whatever. So then everybody retains their initial amount or their principal amount of hex that they entered with. It's just like another form of like innovation, you know. Again,
also tell us more about with the Hex Credit app,
right?
The Hex Credit DApp, because I know that's kind of like the same thing as like that Nexo has, right? Correct?
Yeah, cool. Similar? Well, Hex Credit is basically kind of like what Nexo has.
Yeah.
But I think their LTV rates are like 50%. We're going to be doing 60%. And what that effectively means is anybody can go into a pool and provide like Ethereum as liquidity. It's not just us that can provide it. It's the same as like Uniswap providing liquidity on Uniswap. Anybody will be allowed to do it. And I suppose the way of looking at it is you can capture both sides of the market. Like the Ethereum users are the people who might not be so keen on Hexy and Hex, but they like the interest that they both generate, or they like the dividends they both generate. Or Hex doesn't, necessarily produce dividends, but it produces what's portrayed as interest, even though it's probably not interest. So then what they can do is they can kind of hedge their bets, and they're like, well, I do like this Hexy and Hex, but what I want to do is I just want to put my ETH and let my ETH work for them interests and dividends. And then what can happen is people who have got Hexy or Hex, they can come in from the other side, and they can basically take a loan out in ETH against their Hexy or Hex. If you're a Hex person, what will effectively happen is when you come and drop your Hex into the contract and you take, say, your 60% Ethereum in return for the market price of your Hex, basically that Hex will go into a stake for the duration of the loan you selected, and that will be staked at go.hex.win. And then after the loan is finished and you pay that Ethereum back that you took, then basically the people will receive their Ethereum back, but they will also receive the interest that the Hex earned on top. In Hex's case, that will be the dividends and the interest.
Yeah, and it's funny because my brother, he just asked me yesterday. He's like, "Hey Ryan, have you heard of that Nexo?" He's like, "Yeah, I'm gonna test it out." And it's like, I told him, "No, I never heard of it." But
we actually overtook them on that radar.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that they're the only people around doing whatever they're doing, doing that that stuff. And so I think it sounds great, really.
I think on Nexo you get 50% for Bitcoin, and then it's lower for anything else. So lower for Ethereum and low. But we obviously our main one will be Ethereum, which will be the liquidity pool. And like I say, we're going to be offering like 60%. So let's just say someone doesn't pay a loan back on HexStep credit. Well, then what we've done is we've taken a 60% LTV rate. So minus fees, which I think we're talking are going to be about 1.5% to 1%. There'd be like 39% that will say somebody defaults on a loan and doesn't pay that Ethereum back. Then the person who provided the Ethereum is effectively got a portion of that 39% default to play with as well. So I mean, this can work good for both parties in the fact that if you're a big believer in Hexy and Hex, then what this essentially allows you to do is compound your position in both of them.
Oops. But one second here, some sound. Yeah, there we go. My sound. Hold on. Let me see if I can turn that off. Whatever. I just kind of.
You could literally do a whole show on one Dapp. You really could.
Yeah. I like with the HEXLotto. I remember seeing that like back in December, and man,
there was an issue. I think there was an issue with the gas prices or something. Is that correct, Lotto?
Yeah. So basically, what we done when we launched HEXLotto Rocket, it was an experimental version that we launched. We made it quite clear it was just on mainnet. But what we were having problems with, we wanted to make the contract as solid as possible, and every route we went down to try and make it better, it made it less immutable and more centralized. So we tried using like a third-party oracle for the RNG random number process, because if you don't use that and you rely on like the Solidity code, then potentially you open yourself up to like manipulation, where miners can basically clog up the network and manipulate potentially what could be the outcome, or manipulate it into a certain block. So we went and we've done loads and loads of R&D, but we've actually got a fully ready product to launch, and that literally just needs to plug into our ecosystem. And the beauty of it with Lotto Rocket is there will be multiple Dapps from our.
Let me see if I can pull it up without the sound. Is there a way I can take the sound off? Or...
just click on the video and it will take that sound off. Just pause it. I don't know why it was set so it automatically played, but
okay, I think it's off now. There we go.
So we have a treasury in here, and basically a lot of Dapps in the ecosystem will feed that treasury. So at the end of the day, whether anybody
point.
pays it or not, there's going to be hex and there's going to be hex filling up in a treasury. So every day,
so is this going to take the HXB tokens?
Or we potentially could take HXB tokens with it. We can take all the tokens in our ecosystem on HEXLotto. So we can at the minute we're at the hexy, hex, ETH, and USDC. That's currently what it takes. So in the version that we've got sitting there ready to launch. And by the way, we're not partners with Token Air anymore either.
Okay.
For obvious reasons.
Yeah. But I remember when I first saw this, and I thought I was trying to figure out how it works, and I was like, man, this is pretty kind of complex. It's like its own little system. It wasn't just like a little easy, or just like it was like it was.
Do you want
really...
to know what HEXLotto actually was? If I'm truthfully honest, what it was is it's kind of like what Hex Money V2 is now. So it's a similar sort of product, but it's just a lotto. Where everybody was like, when I got in a Hex, I was looking at it and I was thinking, where's the entertainment? You know, where is the entertainment? And Richard Hart had said he kind of wanted some entertainment on Hex. This is why I started building this HEXLotto. So, you know, I was invested in Hex and basically used all my funds to put into this debt. You know, or it weren't just my funds, it was mine and the missus's funds. You know, we went in together, and you know, she took my word that Hex was going to be something half all right, and we invested it. And then basically I said, look, let's, instead of just going for like the appreciation of the coin or token or whatever's going to happen, I said, like, you know, we all liked Hex. You know, all the people in our little circle, we was like, Hex is going to do some big things. So what we wanted to do is just like contribute to that by building out an ecosystem. And at the end of the day, you know, obviously the gambling Dapps, which is what everybody thinks, you know, this is, which it isn't if you play it right. They were all like, no, we hate you. You know what I mean? Get out our ecosystem with your gambling Dapps and everything. You can actually take more money out of this Dapp when you buy a ticket than what your ticket cost instantly. So at the end of the day, and you can know that before you go into it, whether you can do that. So at the end of the day, if you can't take more money out of it, you don't have to buy a ticket.
That sounds wonderful.
Yeah. So are there any other kind of Dapps you want to like elaborate on, or anything, any kind of points you want to kind of touch on or anything? Or
I suppose like HexBet is another good one. HexBet basically is, you see how we've got like mobile when it mints like free hexy, or it doesn't at the moment, but it will mint free hexy when people give us a chance to implement it again. You know, another thing about hexmobile as well, I think a lot of people are like short to realise that the all-time high through the Hex AA lobby was caused via hexmobile. Or, you know, it wasn't just solely on its own, but it pushed it over the normal threshold of what it had been seeing. And the biggest amount of ETH that has ever gone through the Hex AA lobby, I think hexmobile contributed to about 1,200 ETH on that day. So if we hadn't have been there, then we would have been just below the all-time first day high. But because we were on there and we had the free mint of Hexy active, basically it just contributed to that. So, you know, we're partly responsible for that. We even got congratulated by Richard Hart at the time, and we're not far away from reintroducing like the Hexy free mint back through the mobile version. It's just had to been done in a different manner, you know. You know, the free minted Hexy automatically goes into a 30-day freeze and things like that. Because it's free, we don't want it to harm the market like instantly, you know. Whereas if it goes into a freeze, people still have an opportunity to earn interest through that free minted Hexy, and you know, it earns interest and dividends the minute it's paid. Obviously, as long as there's transforms, interest will happen regardless.
So what's your thoughts on the 666D Ethereum Genesis whale? Because on my last show, I was kind of like, I was going through all his things, and you know, I would consider him smart money. I get, you know, he was in Ethereum at the beginning. I just went through that. I had up the spreadsheet. He bought over 444,000 ETH at that time, you know, and he's kind of and he's really, you know, dabbled in a bunch of different things, whatever. But I just kind of, you know, and before I didn't pay attention to him, to like the stuff, and I kind of saw, you know, okay, there's ETH Genesis whales and Hex, cool. Well, but I didn't really focus in. But I just kind of recently it came across my attention that he isn't Hexy, and you know, I mean, just from like, I would consider that, you know, kind smart money. I don't know. And, and it's kind of intriguing that he would decide to be into Hex, and he has a lot of it.
Yeah. So first of all, I think he's like obviously a smart, intelligent person to get involved in the first place. Like, first of all, I want to say thank you to him. I've said thank you in the chat multiple times. I don't even know if he's present in the chat, but obviously our bot, whenever he interacts with the contract, it causes like mayhem in the group and everybody goes mad. Even if he just freezes like a few hexy, everybody's just mad because they know that we've got like one of the, even if that wallet address isn't the person who everybody thinks it is, it's like, which everybody kind of thinks they know it is, but don't 100% know. It's like, we've got one of the
whoever you are, the whole community thanks you.
Yeah, we've got like one of the most respected wallet addresses in the whole of Ethereum in our project, and they are one of they are the biggest investor in the project. It's like kind of we're now trying to like not live up to what they've done, but we're trying to like get everything ready so we can just say bang. But yeah, it's a massive like boost of confidence for the project, and I think it's a massive boost of confidence for other people in the project. People just need to understand at the minute there's going to be highs, there's going to be lows. I mean, it's the same with Hex. Has everybody given up on Hex? No, because they probably know it will probably pump again. It's nothing's guaranteed or nothing's 100%, but I don't think it's going to zero. So we're just going through the phase of crypto basically, and people, a lot of people can't handle the volatility with crypto, and
I don't have any. Right. I don't have any problem getting some more Hexy today, or some more Hex today. And get some more Hex today. It's always a good price to buy, especially when it's down. So, but
I agree.
Lotto, could you explain how does Hexy benefit Hex long term? Because if we have the ability to more legitimize Hex just in what we can do for the ecosystem, maybe that's a good point.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we'll straight away, when anything is earned in Hex, through Hexy, whether it's via dividends or via interest, basically we have Ethereum. Like when we first launched Hexy, we were considering adding Ethereum, and we went against it because we was like, oh no, Richard Hart might think we're trying to steal the show or whatever. And then what actually happened is we launched it with just Hex as a paid dividend and a way of transforming. But the problem of doing that is when we launched V1 and had mobile free mint of Hexy, where you went through like the HexAA lobby and you put ETH in and got your Hex out. But on top of that, you also got the equivalent in Hexy. Now, what this actually caused is people who were trying to compound their position is they'd get their Hex out the other side, and then the very next day they'd sell it to get back into ETH. Which kind of turned into not a problem, but it was just like a vicious cycle. So what they'd do is they'd sell their Hex to get back into ETH, and then go through like the compounding structure in the wrong way. But now, because we've added Ethereum, that doesn't have to happen. So people can do this basically. They can come into our DApp via Ethereum, they can earn dividends in Ethereum, and then them Ethereum dividends they can put through the AA lobby and get Hex out. But because they also get Hex in dividends, they don't have to sell that Hex because they can come and put that Hex back through transforms into Hexy if they want to keep compounding their position in Hexy. So it's like what we've done is we've cut out like a dumpage of Hex basically. What when we launched V1, it was kind of, if people were just using that one compounding cycle, there's a lot of compounding cycles that need to be like talked and gone into, and because it's an economy, like you could literally talk about them forever, so there needs to be like more clarity on them as exactly how they work and how they function. We're hoping like a few community members will put something together and maybe some sort of guidance for people, not as financial advice, but just some possible like strategies you can use once more of the ecosystem is functioning. And then basically people will actually be able to see the true values of what we can do and how we can actually assist Hex. So the way we initially assist Hex is because of the free mint of Hexy when you use the mobile app. Basically what that does is it pushes more Ethereum into the Hex AA lobby. Now people say, well, that doesn't make the price of Hex pump. You're correct. It doesn't directly make the price of Hex pump. But if more Hex goes into the AA lobby and makes the price of Hex more expensive, what do people do on Uniswap? They go and buy it, don't they? you know. So the higher the price through the AA lobby, then the more people that buy it up at the cheaper price on Uniswap. So it kind of has, you know, you could call it a pump. It kind of helps the price stabilize, or it helps the price like appreciate. Just because the more ETH that goes through the Hex AA lobby, it increases the price of Hex via the AA lobby, which then in turn seems to have a knock-on effect through the price of Hex on Uniswap. So it's not like direct pump, or it's not anything that's like instantly, what would you say, like attached to it, but it does definitely cause like a knock-on effect.
It doesn't cause a downward trend, that's for sure.
Yeah, exactly. You know, you don't see these crazy high prices through the AA lobby and then a massive dump on Uniswap. You know, it seems to be the opposite. You get people arbitraging, and you get the traders making little gains on Uniswap when that price goes higher. But then usually the price on Uniswap seems to follow the price through the AA lobby. So that's kind of like how we can assist it. And the other thing is this, you know, probably the biggest miss thing of all is we're a whole ecosystem of Dapps about to be launched on top of Hex. How can that not?
And yeah, right. And if those Dapps all accept Ethereum, and then they're able to use that, you know, and then that Ethereum could be used by the people who are receiving those dividends in the credit in the hex.credit, then the people who are receiving the dividends from Hexy, freezing Hexy, will then be able to get an LTV, a 60% LTV loan on that Ethereum and increase their position in Hex also. So, I mean, there's so much to it. It's mind-boggling sometimes.
So here's a question, because I last night I think some people came across it, and I was trying to answer it my best and thinking about it. But okay, once the 60 million gets, you know, used up, or, you know, people accrue enough interest, whatever, like the 60 million supply, then I think their question was, what will happen to the interest? And my understanding was that there will be no more interest paid out, but only dividends from the ecosystem. Correct?
Correct. In Hexy, interest would be gone, but there isn't. You know, don't forget that the team have founder tokens, and we could potentially do things with them founder tokens, because Hexy can be paid as a dividend, can't it? So we've actually got about I think we've got 30k in Hexy tokens to pay out still. So we're just waiting for the dust to settle. We kind of wanted the UI to be fixed. It's taken a couple more days than expected. We've got devs that are off for the weekend now, and things like that. So we're always like fighting something. It's like, you know, something that should take 2 days to sort out ends up taking 4 because it's the weekend. You know?
Here's the thing. I just started pulling this from the website.
Yep.
So I'm trying to kind of track every day when I go through my daily tracking of things, but I'm trying to, you know, it's the frozen, the circulating, and the locked.
Yeah,
and kind of just trying to keep track of how they change every day.
So 1.5 million of them locked tokens actually belong to the community as well. So they're just out of max supply, and 6 million of the founders tokens.
Okay, gotcha.
And nothing against the developers; they've been killing themselves for months. So
like the sheer amount of work that our developers have done in the background. When you hear all this FUD, it's like, it rolls you, because we know how hard each and every single person behind this project has worked. You know, I've personally done, I've lost count of how many over 24-hour shifts I've done in the last few months. You know, I've done nearly 2 days before, like awake working, and it's like, you know, people don't see the sheer amount of effort and you know, sacrifice you're making to try and make this project, you know. And this is coming from someone who's been through the 2017 days of scams. I know what it's like to get scammed, you know. It's like, you know, we've tried to build something that just has infinite possibilities to alleviate it away from anything towards it could be a scam, you know. Yes, we don't have a white paper, but I know hundreds of scams that did have a really nice looking white paper that seemed to make perfect sense, you know. It's like, so you've got, there's an argument for like every case, but, you know, things like the white paper, yes, it would be nice to have more, you know, more info out about the surrounding ecosystem. And believe it or not, we've actually got about 3 white papers in the background, but because things have changed from V1 to V2, as in like, you know, different structures. We've got the 20% referral bonus at the minute, which was another form of incentive. Probably hasn't helped the Uniswap price.
Just a few things, yeah.
Yeah, it's like, you know, still an incentive either way you want to look at it.
Right.
But
and the white paper.
At the end of the day, we're just trying to, like, you know, we're just trying to push forward for all this shit. And what actually pisses me off about that Discord syndicate is they're all like little bunch of boys, mate. You know what I mean? Playing with their toy Hex, and it's like what they're failing to realize is we're building a whole ecosystem on your thing you love. You know what I mean? So what is your problem? It's like, what is your problem? You know,
they just don't understand it. They just don't understand it, and they're not doing the homework to get to understand it. But I bet you that they'll be listening to this.
RG3 is actually all right. Like, I've had a long conversation with him in the background. You know, like not on camera, not like. Well, I was actually on camera for him, I think, on that one, but it didn't go live. And I just said, I just want to chat with you about like what we're doing, basically. And we did. We had about a 2.5 hour long conversation, and he got it. He got everything, you know. And then it just seems to be now you've got like this. I mean, who is this knob jockey, mate? What's his name? Good Texture or something like that.
They're all just waiting. They're all just waiting for the future.
Let's just have it right and lay the cards out on the table. Like, who is this person? You know what I mean? He's like, oh, you are this, you are that. This is what you are. You're an ICO. You're this. No, we're fucking not, mate. Like, just get it in your head. We're not a fucking ICO, all right? I'm not going to say it again. We never were an ICO, and we never have been an ICO. So just get that one cleared up for a start. Then he's saying, oh, we have to feed off new users to feed old ones. No, we fucking don't. You know, that's just the transform part. You know, that's just how that bit is designed. So we can like, get this in your head, people, and just listen to what I'm saying. We can add an infinite amount of Dapps to this Hexy V2 contract. An infinite amount of Dapps that all contribute to Hexy holders who freeze. Like, when people actually wrap that around their head, we can work for 20 years moving forward, adding Dapps. You know,
Lotto, doesn't Hex.business have a legal opinion that proves that they're not?
It has a legal opinion based in Costa Rica that states Hexy is not a security. And obviously that can change from state to state, but you know, the company that owns Hex.business that is based in Costa Rica has a legal opinion stating Hexy is not a security. You know, that's all I'm saying. It's like, you know, I know that because I've seen that legal opinion with my own eyes. You know, and this is the company that owns the whole of Hex.business. You know, we're just designers. We're just pushing this forward, designing for it. You know, I designed most of the ecosystem. You know, Michael designed the mobile app. You know, where's all the credit for the mobile app? It's the best mobile app on Hex. You know, and it's like, great. Where's all the credit for it? You know, they went and built exactly what the community wanted for Hex, and it's like, you know, where's the credit for it? Who's using it now? No one. Do you know why? Because they're not getting free Hexy, and it's like, well, you know, but it still does what if Hexy wasn't here, that app still does what it's meant to do. So where are all the users?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Right. And it's the most simplest way to onboard new users for Hex. You can literally
do it gets marketed.
A few taps and touches, and you've onboarded a new user for Hex. And you know, the most complicated thing about it is they have to send a 0 transaction, you know, to get their Hex, and that's it. It's like, but where's all the credit for it? You know, they threw him under the bus on that RG3 show last night. You know, threw him under, or this morning, whenever it was, they threw him like completely under the bus. And I'm like,
that was horrible.
What a bunch of fucktards. Like, let's have it right. You know, they are a bunch of fucktards. And I don't, you know, I'm not throwing that word around lightly. What I'm saying is we're all here trying to like, you know, we're all here trying to like support Hex. We're all here trying to give Hex like an actual use case. We're all here giving it an ecosystem of Dapps, which has got to be probably one of the biggest compliments for Hex going. You know, and there's a fucking lot of work that's gone into all that. A lot of work, you know. It's not like, oh, some people have just made up a scammy Dapp, you know. We haven't exit scammed. You know, people are how much shit have people said that we're going to exit scam? Well, we're still here. We're still fighting. We're still going on. What, you know, we haven't even out yet. It's like,
you know, I was actually, hey, listen, I was actually talking with somebody today about it, and I said, you know, it's kind of funny how I was building the mobile app 5 months before the launch of Hex. And we literally launched our first version of the Hex tool with stakehex.com back on the day before the launch of Hex. So I believe it was December 2nd. December 3rd, possibly, whatever that date was, we had launched the Hextool app, and we tested it amongst our team and found that it was broken with this EPI 67 issue. And so we had to pull it and figure out what it was that was wrong. And it took us months to figure it out and finally write it and get that coding done. And, you know, that's, you know, for us to have been in this since 5 months, working on this 5 months before the launch of Hex, we did our very best to be a working, 100% working, audited tool that would, you know, it was 100% done. Like everybody's suggesting, you know, it's like, but once the rug got pulled out from under us by stakehex.com, we had to find other resources, and we had to find another set of tools with developers in that to make sure that it was as good as it was, because some of our developers were busy, whatever. But, you know, it's just one of those things where when you hear that something isn't 100% done, we had no developers that wanted to work on it because Hex was being called a scam. Like, I'm a Hexican, man. Everyone's calling Hex a scam. We can't find developers.
Yeah, I think the thing is with the mobile app as well, what everybody seems to be quick to jump on. Like, you know, people are like, Michael needs to lay off saying he was a house painter. No, what Michael needs to do is actually get some fucking credit for getting that mobile app out. Because at the end of the day, it might not even be there. If it wasn't for Michael pulling the cart with it, it wouldn't even be there. But he kept pushing on. And the difference is, what people need to understand is, like, Hex Mobile, it's not 100% complete. It's an app. It's an app that onboards new users to Hex that is 100% complete, like, working. So it doesn't matter if Hex Mobile needs to have a few different versions. It's only an app that directly interacts with the Hex contract. You know, so at the end of the day, it just basically puts their Ethereum through the AA lobby and gives them their Hex on the other side. But it's just an onboarding tool, you know. But if it wasn't for Michael being just a house painter, but, you know, also being an intelligent bloke with good leadership skills and actually seeing something and believing in it and actually pushing it through to the very end, it wouldn't even be there. So there would be no Hex mobile app. Now there's an app that's got the reach to go out to the whole of China. And everybody says, oh, well, what happens when the AA lobby finishes? Well, then it has a mobile browser and it can be used for the whole of the Hex.business ecosystem. So the whole of the Hex.business ecosystem is mobile, you know, which then creates even more use cases for Hex and Hexy. So it's like, either way you want to look at it, everybody's like, all people are looking at. And it's like, the thing that gets me at the minute is we've got a lot of people who are meant to be intelligent, a lot of people who are going on like these live streams and talking like they're a crypto genius and all that, and they're fucking stupid. And it's like, I don't get the stupidity coming out of their brains at the minute. And it's like, why go and like just make up all this shit and, you know, just say your own thing without doing your own research, without fully looking into something, without just actually like going away and thinking about things for a bit? How can you just go on somewhere and just slag something off that you literally know nothing about? But what they're doing is it's kind of like slander. You could probably get in shit with the law for doing that, you know, because they're saying something that when they're portraying it to the audiences, they're portraying it as it's factual. And that's no good. Yeah. That is like, you know, they literally would do so much better for Hex getting involved with Hexy, because we are literally doing so much for them. They don't realize they're actually doing bad for both projects. You know, we've come out to assist Hex. That's exactly what we've done. You know, we've done big stakes and everything from the, you know, V1 and everything else. And, you know, there's obviously more planned for the future. You know, we're giving 90% of all the proceeds to like the community, you know, which then actually helps the Hex ecosystem because there's more Hex out there. So at the end of you know, we're doing everything as, you know, as quickly, as professionally, and you know, as good as possible as what we can. It's just we're fighting a lot of shit at the moment, and it seems like we've been like, I've been in crypto a long time, and I don't know many projects that have the scope of what Hex.business potentially can have. You know, I haven't seen that. I haven't seen one incentive token that comes out and pays you all, you know, or has the opportunity to pay you in 4 different tokens, you know, and we've got that straight off the bat. And then on top of that, we've got we can plug as many dApps into the ecosystem as we want. And it's not just a dApps we make. Anybody can go and make a dApp and bring it to us. And as long as it's audited and as long as it like fits up to the standard, we can plug that dApp in and it can mint free hexy and it can send dividends to hexy holders who freeze. You know, to me, that's just an ideal scenario, you know, and it's like, it's probably going to take a lot of time, but at the same time, it's like, you know, we can't let all the FUD get us down. The price drops. You know, this is crypto. There's going to be ups and downs with price. It's volatile. I've known that from day one. I actually like that about crypto, whereas a lot of people don't like that about crypto, that it's volatile. That's what attracts me to crypto, is the volatility there, you know, and I get it.
Hex is a 15-year contract, and Hexy is going to be right there with them. We're a long-term contract, long-term. We're long-term. So
people want to buy something that just constantly goes up and never stops going up. But like, step back into reality, mate, because it ain't going to happen. You know what I mean? It might go up more over time, but it's never just going to keep going up constantly. You know what I mean? Just step into reality, assess what you are doing with your crypto, do your own research, go and research everything fully. You know, even when we come out as Hex Money, what was my motto to people on the live stream with RG3 on Discord Syndicate? I said to them, we're not telling everybody to throw all your Hex into this. We've never once said to anybody do that. You know, we're just saying, like, play about with it with your spare change of Hex. You know, that's all we said. Play about with it with your spare change of Hex. How can that be hurtful? You know, it's not hurtful, is it? And they're saying, oh, we're going to leave a big stain on Hex's name and all that. No, we're not. Hex already had the big stain on its name. You know, we're taking that stain away by giving it validity. It's as simple as that. That's all we're doing, is giving Hex more validity. And, you know, people don't understand that. And it's a shame they don't understand it, because that's exactly what we're doing.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, that's you know, good stuff there. You know,
and who's that? Hex Coin is making a good point there. You know, we are in this all together, and it is literally us against them, and it's not the Hexy community that it should be against each other. It's us versus the rest of them. So yeah, it's a good point. You know, because we really are in this we're in this for each other. You know, we really
and there's a comment. Darber said, I thought Michael said last night he was paying the bills. Now there's a company in Costa Rica. I'm confused.
No, Michael isn't paying the bills. That's what I'm saying.
No. At the very beginning, I paid the bills for the mobile team.
Yeah.
I started out paying the bills for the mobile team.
No, what Michael has done is we you know, there was also funds made from arbitrage and things like that. Michael has just put personal funds into it, basically. So it's like, you know, at the end of the day, if he wants to do that, he can. I put my personal funds into building Lotto, you know, and then I paid devs with my personal funds as well, you know, but that was my actual initial Hex stack, you know, so that's how much faith I had in this ecosystem that I was like designing and building, is I paid my initial Hex stack to do that.
Right. And the rest of my Hex stack is staked up to 15 years.
That's what I was saying. You're talking to a man here who's got a 15-year stake in Hex. It's like, you know, how can anyone like resent that man? He's got like a 15 years, and it's not a small amount either. So it's like, you know,
it's my retirement.
You have to take your hats off to Michael there for having a 15-year stake in Hex. You know, you just got to take your hats off to that. I can't see what else you can do about it.
And I've got plenty of friends and family that I've talked into that also, and they've got 15-year stakes themselves.
Exactly. It's like, that's a true hexagon as far as I'm concerned. You know, yeah, we're getting branded with this, oh, Hexy's a stain, it's going to do this to Hex, it's going to do that. No, it's not. It's not going to do that. Yes, we're going to suffer from exactly the same volatility as Hex. We're going to suffer from all these things. But at the same time, if you look at the bigger picture and just let everything evolve as it should, stop giving people so much of a hard time when they're already working their bollocks off, you know. It's like every single person who's working around the clock.
Just give us a chance. Just give us a chance. Yep. And just let us prove that we're doing what we're doing.
Exactly. But other than that, I loved it. I've loved the ride so far. So it's like, it's all good.
Yep. It's been a lot of work, my man.
Yeah.
Hey, guys.
Yeah, questions.
I got a question for Lotto. in regard to this came up in the chat, and I don't know if it got forwarded to Kevin or not, but Firebun was asking in the chat on the show last night about stats of the mobile app on onboarding. Is there any kind of stats that you guys have built, or
we haven't got any stats out there that are built, but what we do have is obviously all the TXs on Everscan, which we can show all the days that the mobile was running with free mint. Exactly how many, you can see all the analytics basically of the amount of Ethereum that comes through,
and that's with zero marketing. There's been no marketing, no push. So there, that's I guess the team is waiting to do that. It's up and coming for China. China's about to get a push, so we'll see what happens in the next couple of weeks here.
So how would someone look up that those stats, just from the contract address, or the contract address? Is there a different one for mobile?
Yeah, what we'll do is we will get that mobile contract address for the V1 version of mobile, which is the one that took the Ethereum. We'll get that posted into our main Telegram chat.
Yep, good.
It's just over
yeah. And last night I was pretty mad, and this morning I was mad. I was mad with everything that was said. Everything, people just attacking like we were saying, but. I feel like it's kind of in the past now, but at the same point, it's like, yeah, and we should kind of, everyone here we're all in it for, we're all hexagons. We're all hexagons, and trying to bash each other and this, that, it's just like, I feel like it's not going to get anywhere. And
Hex is amazing. Hex is amazing. Hats off to Richard Hart. Hex is amazing, but
yeah, I agree.
But there are things that it can't do. Just like Bitcoin couldn't do what Hex can do, there are certain things that Hex can't do that we want to add to Hex, on top of it in an ecosystem. We basically want to build a city. And like I said last night, it's like laying down tracks for a train. Yeah. It ain't easy laying tracks, brother. I've seen it. I've been around it. So
yeah, especially when the train's already rolling, you know what I mean?
Right. The train's already rolling right behind you, pushing you along. Yeah. So
yeah.
But we had somebody had explained that if you go by that train track methodology, or that that example, we are basically just a station full of people wanting to get on the Hex train, and maybe there's another ecosystem that gets built. We don't see it happening tomorrow. Hopefully we're there first. I mean, that's our goal, and each station has its own people. And as long as they're getting on the Hex train, that's all we care about. Just get on the Hex train. Get on the Hexy train. So
yeah,
I agree. It'll all end up in the right place.
Yeah, and it's really good to have you guys here on stream and kind of just talk. Because it's sometimes it's hard to kind of try to relay messages or this or that from Telegram, but. I'm sure everyone too that's in watching. It's good to just kind of have you guys just to hear it from you guys. So
I'm ready to grab
that's
tequila.
Good, yeah.
I don't know about you.
Let's go.
Yeah, me jump back.
What did you say, Michael?
I said I'm pouring a tequila, my man.
Oh, fair play, mate.
Tequila.
I'll meet you out back for a smoke. All right.
Yeah, no, we didn't come here for a war. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's
not at all.
Yeah, in one of the chats, we didn't come here to take part. We came here to take over. But that's kind of like our mentality for this ecosystem, And when we say take over, we don't mean take over Hex. We obviously we'd love to be the dominant ecosystem on top of Hex. Obviously we'd like to be, the place that people who have got 95% of their Hex staked, but they're at 5%'s worth of change or whatever, that they're willing to put into something that's maybe a little riskier, or maybe, something that's potentially higher risk, but potentially not as well. We want to be that ecosystem where people can come and use that amount of Hex with, but at the same time, we've got our ecosystem that onboards Ethereum users now. It onboards USDC holders now, and also like Hexy. We're actually giving use cases to our own token at the same time. So it's like all our Dapps that can accept it will accept Hexy as well. So we'll also have use cases, and all these people that are selling it now and everything. It's like, you know, fair play, do it. You know, no one's gatekeeping you. You can go and dump it. You can go and do what you want. You can sell it. It's like, you know, nobody's stopping you doing that. But look how early it is. You know, look.
Right. Hey, listen, Lotto, there was a big question about what's the deal with us launching all these separate tokens and what's that all about? Can you explain that a little bit?
The hex.bet chip, for instance, basically hex.bet is a lossless casino, and the way you play that lossless casino is with hex.bet chips. Them chips will never be taken away from you or lost at that casino. But the way you can earn hex.bet chips is when you go up to our casino once it's launched. It's actually right in the. We've had a fully fleshed out casino sitting there ready to waiting to launch. But the devs we've been speaking to, they're like, you know, we could do this ourselves, and you know, rather than use like a kind of template casino, we can just build like one from scratch, and that's what we're going to do. We're going to launch with like 3 games. I'm not even going to give a deadline actually, because I'm fed up of giving deadlines because I don't have anything concrete to give right now. But basically, with hex.bet, you can, if you own Hex, USDC, or Hexy, or Hex, you can come up and basically show
or Ethereum,
proof of funds, and you will get 10% of what them proof of funds are. In hex.bet for free. And then with that hex.bet, you can basically go and use the casino and mint free hexy with it. So on a win, you will mint free hexy. But if you lose, we will just issue them tokens straight back to you. So you can keep using them. The only thing that's going to allow you to win more is if your position size in hex.bet is bigger. And this is, don't forget, there's like, you know, nearly half the amount of hexy is going to be free minted. This is the other thing what people don't give us credit for. You know, it's only like what did we say it was? I can't remember what the figures were, but you know, up to 30 million hexy that are through transforms. I think it's a little bit less than that. I don't have the figures straight off the top of my head, but basically the rest of the hexy that comes into comes into fruition is from the other side of the max supply, and that's interest, free mint, interest free mint. We've got interest free mint, transforms, and referrals. So that's the only 4 ways you can get hexy at the moment, or you could say 5 off a Uniswap, but that's already come out of the max supply. So at the end of the day, half of that supply is going to come into existence from people doing stuff potentially for free. You know, so they're either minting it into existence through mobile, they're minting it into existence from the lossless casino, you know, and then the transforms are if people just want to increase their position size in hexy. Obviously, there's that like competition, you know, exactly why like all these people like increase their position as whales and things like that. You know, we're going to have that mentality with it. But at the end of the day, that's if you didn't have that mentality with something, it wouldn't be successful, because there has to be an incentive for people to get as much as possible, because then they can get higher rewards. You know, if that wasn't there, why would people even be buying it? You know what I mean? If having a bigger position in something didn't increase your potentially your interest or your potential dividends that could come through, why would you even do it? Well, then you come back to just what BTC is. Well, you're just hoping that the price is going to appreciate. But what's the price going to appreciate for? Well, just because of what the token statistics are. We've got all this on our side, as well as the potential price appreciation. So, you know, we're kind of pegged up until the 10th round. But what I'm saying is I think it's 490 million that it's going to cost, something like that, dollar value of today, because remember the price of Hex today. So if the price of Hex goes up, it will cost more than that. But I think it's under $500 million to get through the whole of Hex money to the 10th round.
So here's a question I was thinking. How do you see Hexy performing if, you know, say if Hex is to go on a run and just starts really taking off, because you know how Hexy, it'll be pegged to whatever, 2001, 3000, 4000. How do you see Hexy kind of performing if Hex is to just start going on a run?
Well, the idea is that's kind of like what we tried to design into the fundamentals, is like, you know, we're hopefully ride off of that as well. You know, it's not 100% fact or guarantee, but that's what we're hoping. And either way, the price of Hexy is going to go up, or it's going to cost more via transforms. And you know, if that price keeps going up, then if it's cheap on Uniswap at the time and the price of Hex starts pumping, who knows? You know, there's no guarantees, are there? But it's a design fundamental that's been built in. You know, and at the end of the day, there's no escaping that fact because it's in the contract. So whatever the price of Hex is, that's how much it's going to cost to transform either ETH, USDC, or you know, Hex into.
Yeah, and here's another thing I wanted to say is that, you know, in the last one, I guess we noticed that with with the divs, they were increasing as we were kind of approaching that, you know, like the round 2. So, but because it wasn't like automated or wasn't on the chain yet, there was that big pause to go to V2. But for this, you know, for now, since everything is good to go in the chain, you know, as we approach, you know, maybe if a FOMO wave might come in as we start to approach round 3, this time it'll just be automatically right in the contract, to round.
There's no stopping and starting. That's it. What's launched is launched. It's going. You know, and if it's going to dump, it's going to dump, and if it's going to pump, it can't be stopped. It's as simple as that. So there's no stopping this from the outside. You know, it's just going to keep going now. So that's it. You know, we are what we are. All we can do is we can just keep adding Dapps to it. You know, and that's what I'm saying. This is the part I want people to really think about. Is all we can do to this contract now is keep adding stuff, keep adding other Dapps, and it's not to the contract, it's to the ecosystem. You know, but we can allow them Dapps to free mint more Hexy. We can allow them Dapps to like have referrals and things like that. So, you know, and like I say, we can add an infinite amount of Dapps. There is no, you know, if people said, oh yeah, what's a good target? Well, by the end of the year, or let's just say within 6 to 7 months, I'd like to see at least like 10 Dapps. If people said like within a year, well, you know, I'd like to see 30, 40 Dapps, you know, and now imagine if them 30, 40 Dapps are adding like, you know, dividends to Hexy holders who freeze. It's like, you know, people need to understand. It's like we are just at the very beginning. We aren't even out like the starting gate yet. You know,
we've already got 3 or 4 third-party Dapps in line waiting to be a part of our ecosystem. We can't even get to them yet. To tell you the truth.
Yeah, and then just, you know, for if a Dapp does want to plug into the ecosystem, what would they have to do? Would they have, you know, 1 audit, 2 audits? You know, is there any like
2 paid audits, 2 paid competing audits? Like the same thing that we did when we launched version 1 was we literally had 2 competing paid audits and a bug bounty program. You know, that's the best way to do things. And if they're not willing to at least do that, then they're not the right, you know, they're not the right Dapp for our ecosystem. And they can't be an hourglass. They can't be a scam. They can't be a Ponzi with exiting or entering and exiting fees and all these things that you see that everybody complains about. It's like we don't want anybody to ever have to complain about any Dapp in our ecosystem.
Nice.
Hey, I got a question for you guys, Michael or Lotto, or both. Do you want to? There's been a couple of pings in the chat about. Do you want to explain what happened with Token Air or not?
I don't mind explaining that, to be fair. So,
I mean, I don't know what it is. So
I'll tell you
they're trying. They're trying their damnedest. You know, let's just give them that. They're trying their damnedest, but
I'll tell you straight exactly what happened. Basically, I worked on the lotto for a long time, and we've done many iterations of it, and we've done a lot of R&D on it. You know, Solidity is hard to do something like with a random number, which is fair and can be provably fair.
Or decimals.
Or decimals. There's a lot of things that are hard with Solidity, you know, but at the end of the day, we're still overcoming all this, and we're still doing something. You know, and I don't want to slag Trevon off and all that too much, because, you know, I've followed Trevon for a long time, since 2017 actually, and I found him quite comical. And I never once blamed him if I went into something, because look, like, let's face it, 99% of the stuff that Trevon has done is shit, right? It is, like, let's not beat around the bush, right? How much have people lost going in with that guy? Like, it's going to be a lot, you know, or just, you know, and you got to take your hat off to him. He says every time, this is not financial advice. Do your own research. Do people listen to that? Do they fuck? Right, they do not listen to.
Right. Hey, listen, I really like that guy, Bitcoin for Life. I watch his videos and I hear him just give. He gives Trevon the shit, man. He gives him the business, and it's like, I can't make no money on this one, but I take my money from this one and I move it to this one, and I make a little bit of money. It's like, it's funny, man. It's funny.
so basically, when we bought out Lotto, it was part of the income of Lotto. I think it was 1% of the entirety of the revenue of Lotto was going to go to feed Token Air holders. So just as like an added little bonus of dividends. And then basically we had a lot of problems with each version of Lotto. Every time we added something, it changed something else. And every time we tried to become more centralized, it pushed us towards being less secure for like the random number generation stuff. So it's like we just went through this monotonous, like vicious cycle of basically just changing the contract, making it better. Then it actually made it worse. Then we launched it like as a test trial, and like the gas fees were super high, and things like this. So we had multiple iterations of trying to get things right. But with Trevon, he basically hit the shit because he wasn't involved in the HEX.business ecosystem. That's where it went. And then what he come out and said was the thing that really kicked it off is the day we launched. Even though he was going to get dividends from Thingy, and we hadn't even spoke about whether he potentially wanted to be a partner with Hex.business, that was never even ruled out, because at the end of the day, there was a lot of founders tokens that could have gone as dividends to his Hex2 people, So it's like that was all part and parcel, or he could have plugged like things into the Hex.business ecosystem. So, we're just doing this thing exactly what it says on the tin. It's Hex.business, and it's like there's a lot of things that can plug into this, and it can benefit a lot of other holders in certain things, or a lot of other people in certain things. And instead of like coming and having a chat like directly through Telegram or whatever, because he's got my handle and everything, it's like he went out there and made this Ponzi scheme video. And I'm like, you of all fucking people, like a Ponzi scheme. You are
he's
like
a part of. He's a part of it.
you are the king of fucking Ponzi's, mate. You know what I mean? You are famous for promoting the biggest Ponzi scheme in the fucking world. You know what I mean? That is what you fucking are. And it's like, whether he wants to admit that or not. But I didn't ever look at him like that. I never used to look at Trevon like he was a joker for promoting like BitConnect and all that. Because at the same time, I know a hell of a lot of people went into BitConnect not realizing it was a scam. You know what I mean?
Oh my God. I hear about him every day. Every day.
So it's like, you can't just say, oh, we promoted it. He's like bang out of it. Well, no, he's not. He's just doing what he was doing. And whether people chose to follow it or not, that's up to them,
He was just doing his thing, man.
He was just doing his thing. But then like to come out on our first day and like he's obviously looked at our ecosystem and thought it's a direct threat to Token Air. When in fact it didn't have to be that direct threat to Token Air.
Not at all.
It could have been more like not a partnership like the Lotto and all that, but it could have been that you scratch your back, I'll scratch yours. It could have been one of them scenarios, but he chose to go the other. He chose to go the other way with it, and it's like people like that. I haven't got time for people like that. I'm not about that. I'm a straight up player, mate. You know what I mean?
Hey, you sure are, man. Listen,
straight to your face. I think you're a cunt. You know what I mean?
Right. Hey, listen, Trey. We're not saying you're a cunt. But Trey, check this out.
Hang on, Trey. When you put that Ponzi video out the first day, you were a cunt. Simple as that, mate.
But listen, Trey. Listen, hold on a minute. Lotto, hold on. I hear you. Listen, Lotto. Hold on. Trey. If you audit your shit twice and you lose the hourglass deal and you become a 90% divs to the Hexy people and 10% to your team, or a percentage of that to the team, welcome aboard. Get in line, man. There's like only 4 divs ahead of you ready to get on our ecosystem. You feel free to get in line, brother.
Yeah, on a serious level, like I'm only messing about calling Trey a cunt as well, by the way. It's like, at the end, but that to me was like a snake. It was just a snake move. Like, and the thing is, this is what I don't like. What I'm doing right now, I'm talking about him when he can't defend himself. So it's like, I'm just saying. But
hop on, Trey. Hop on.
The whole community see what happened. You know, the whole community see exactly what happened there, and it's like all I'd done was stick up for our project. You know what I mean? And yeah, I went into his Telegram group and I said to him like straight, you know, what the fuck? I said, let's go on a live stream now if that's what you think we are. You know what I mean? It's like we are actually the furthest thing from a Ponzi scheme at the minute because we've got an amount of Dapps that can be added. So you know, but like I said, I'm not holding grudges against Trey.
No, not at all. Not listen, Trey.
You know, he felt threatened because it was directly kind of competing.
And it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. Listen. When you went into his chat, yeah, listen, when you went into his chat and you said, listen, I am willing to talk to you man to man on a live stream, Richard would say crickets. Okay, there was crickets. Now that's okay because you know, listen, but we're not telling him that he can't fix his shit and possibly come on board. We're not telling him that. So, you know, it's just like, you know, we're just going to keep it cool, man.
He's even unbanned in the group anyway. He asked to get unbanned and I unbanned him. So he's not banned from our group. He can see what's going on, you know. But at the end of the day,
no hate for Trey. No hate for Trey. Yep, no hate.
Truth. Like I say, the big snake move was like the countless videos of putting us down and all that. But then at the same time, all these FUD videos and all that, at some point we have to realize they're free marketing as well. You know, and it's like it doesn't matter how we, you know, it's like they say that old term, any marketing is good marketing, you know, and it's like we've had a lot of FUD, you know, but at the end of the day, the more we keep going above and beyond and like you know, basically like, you know, going above and beyond doing everything we've said we're gonna do, it's like
Lotto is completely legit, brother.
Yeah, we don't even get that opportunity where people are like, yeah, there's a lot of supportive members in our community, but there's a fucking lot more ones that aren't, you know, and there's a lot more people that want to see us fail. We're having whole fucking shows with 6 geezers at the moment.
Well, they're fucking listen, man, they're fucking jaded. They're jaded, bro.
They're dedicating their hard work and time on fudding us into the ground. You know, our project.
That's all gonna end. That's all gonna end once they see that we are what we say that we are, and they see Dapps starting to come out, people starting to get dividends, and everybody happy. I mean, it's a happy community, bro.
Happy, yeah.
The Hexicans are happy people, man. They're
listen. Hexicans are happy people. What a load of bollocks, mate. You know what I mean? I've never.
Well, they're trying to be happy. All right.
You know what I mean? It's
right.
Listen, I've met there's a lot of people who are solid people in the Hex community. A lot of people.
Yes, there are.
There's a lot of people who like there is some real solid people, but there's some solid fucking cunts out there as well. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's like, to be fair, I know
that's everywhere, man. I go to the bar. I only hang out with the solid people, man. They're everywhere.
That's just life in general. That's just life in general. What I'm saying is, though, like people were asking about Trey, right? And people are asking about this. If people want, what do people want me to do? Do they want me to tell them the truth, or do you want me to lie to your face and smile? I'm going to tell you the truth. It's as simple as that. You know, I'm going to tell you exactly how it is to my ability. And if I say something that's incorrect, it was a mistake. Or if I say something that wasn't like, you know, on point or whatever, it was a mistake. As simple as that. But at the same time, everything we have done is hard graft and hard work to bring out a decent product, you know, and that's what we're doing. And all we want to do is keep expanding on that. People didn't actually let me finish what I was going to say about Trey. The way I look at Trey as well, I like Trey. I don't even dislike him. Even if I use words that a lot of other people won't use, you know, that's just how I talk. So at the end of the day, you know, and when people go out, and the first thing when, you know, we've done months and months of hard graft, getting everything to where we needed to get it and to launch V1. And then the first
Lord knows
when someone's sticking a knife straight in your back when you launch, what reaction do people want from that? You know, it's like, I'm even at this point saying, thank you for the FUD, you know? So at the end of the day, whatever people want to say, it's turning it into a positive, isn't it? Because I'm saying, nice one, Trey, for the FUD. You probably done us a favor, you know? And I don't hate the bloke either. And like I said, we haven't even ruled it out that potentially in the future, if he's got some decent Dapps or whatever, he's got ideas, whatever, well, he can plug them into the hex.business ecosystem as long as they comply with the rules. You know, it's as simple as that. Because at the end of the day, Trey's not a stupid man. Yep. He's not stupid. He's got a lot of experience in the Dapp world. So this is the other thing. I'll say the good things about him. He brings, you know, not everything that he promotes is a loss. You know, some of the things he promotes, people earn from. So at the end of the day, but nobody gives him any credit for them things. He only gets the stick for the bad things. You know what I mean? And it's like, this is how I always portray trade.
Human nature, man. Human nature.
I never like blamed him if I went into something because he was in it. I never said like, oh yeah, that's your fault or whatever. It was just like, oh, that's another dud one from Trey, you know, and that's it. Because you've got to take responsibility for your own actions. And it's like a lot of people don't take responsibility in crypto for their own actions, and they should do, you know. And it's like this whole thing, every single YouTube video starts, this isn't financial advice, you know. Who actually listens to that? Nobody listens to it anymore. The biggest part, what people should listen to is basically,
are you audited?
Do your own research. Do your own research. If I have any advice to give anybody in crypto, is one, if you don't like volatility, get out of crypto because it ain't for you. It's as simple as that. It ain't for you if you don't like volatility. But volatility is also probably the sweet thing about crypto that can make you a lot of money as well. And the other thing is, do your own research. That's all everybody in crypto has to do. Go and do your own.
So there's a question here from Firebun. I don't know if you guys want to elaborate on that. He says,
for sure.
Can you speak to how Hexy helps Hex with these Dapps?
As in what way? What? So,
they want to know every way. Yeah.
With mobile. Why don't you tell them, Michael? Go on.
Okay, so all I can speak about is mobile. Okay, yeah, that's fine. All right, so with mobile, if you're able to find somebody who doesn't have a desktop or a laptop, if you find somebody that doesn't, you know, that what is that? That's 80% of the globe doesn't have a desktop or a laptop. They only have a mobile phone. So Hex.Business has an app that allows for people to, and we hope in the near future to be able to incorporate debit card, credit card purchases for Ethereum on the app and the desktop version of Hex.Business. So once that happens, the sky is the limit. You know, it's anybody can get in, get USDC, you know, get Ethereum, however that works however that works, then that gets people into the mobile app to be able to then get Hex or get into the AA lobby to get Hex, and then they'll get Hexy free minted to them in return. So that ability to be able to onboard the globe, written in several different languages. Right now we have Chinese, and we have 12 other languages that are ready to be launched in the next couple of weeks, to be able to onboard the globe in Spanish, in German, in French. We've got all of the languages covered that are the main languages to get everybody in on the globe into Hex through the AA lobby. We plan to also launch a QR code for the Uniswap for Hex and Hexy, that people can then have a choice on what's cheaper for them, getting in through the AA lobby or getting in through Uniswap. You can use whichever QR code you'd like for that process of going from fiat to USDC or Ethereum to Hex. Once you have that Hex, then you can do whatever you like. You can either stake it or you can swap it for Hexy, and you also get your free minted Hexy that you can then either hold in your wallet or you can freeze and receive dividends and interest on that Hexy. That you can then get those dividends and put that right back into the AA lobby or Uniswap. So that's only one DApp. Go ahead.
Yeah. So I think what Firebun was saying, how do all these Dapps help Hex? Well, what they do is where we have an infinite amount of possibilities of how many Dapps can be added. Basically, the revenue that them apps generate that directly feeds the Hexy holders who freeze, they're free to go and buy Hex with that. You know, if they clock up a load of dividends in Ethereum, they can go and put that straight through the AA lobby. So this is like the main intention, really, is that you know, go and buy Hex with your Ethereum or whatever. Don't go and dump your Hex on Uniswap. You can put it back through transforms in Hexy if you want. You know, it's not like direct message. You need to do this. It's like if you wish to do that, you can. You know, and so this is what we're doing. We're just creating a whole ecosystem that can potentially like just go into Hex and feed Hex. You know, and we're plugged in now to the Ethereum like network as well, because even though our price through transforms is pegged to Hex, you know, there's a $25 billion market cap out there with Ethereum, and we accept Ethereum. So at the same time, that Ethereum that rolls through, where 90% of that Ethereum goes out to Hexy holders who freeze, well, all them people who get them that 90%, if people decide to transform through hex.business or Hex Money, if they decide to do that, then all that Ethereum that goes to them, that 90% that goes out, well, they can put that 90% straight through the AA lobby, or they can put a percentage of it through the AA lobby. You know, we're not dictating.
And they can also take they can also take their Hex dividends and they can stake them if they would like to save some of their money in a CD style token. Then they have that opportunity. Like Hex is just a part of our ecosystem. It's just the CD part of our ecosystem.
It's like what Hex Money is. It is actually a massive compounding machine, and as the ecosystem grows, it's just going to be a more complex compounding machine. But if people like play the cards right with it, they're gonna, you know, they're basically going to be able to increase their position. It's like it's just a matter of us getting like more of these Dapps out, feeding more of these Dapps into the ecosystem, get them all running smoothly and properly, get the UIs working correctly. You know, we know the V2 code is sound, you know, but you know, we've got a couple of technical issues with the UI at the moment.
And those are minor things that anybody who's laying track runs out of nails sometimes. So what happens a year from now? Lotto, what happens a year from now? What's the goal a year from now? Maybe 2 years from now. What's the goal?
2 years from now would be nice to say we've got at least 20 Dapps feeding the ecosystem. But really, in year two, I'd like to see like the third-party Dapps plugging into the ecosystem, because one, they're going to get automatic exposure to their Dapp. So it's kind of like a business move in that sense, where any third party can plug into the ecosystem. So, you know, I think we've got around about 10 major core Dapps that have got to go in still. There's some we haven't even announced yet, or not even going to announce, because we've got a lot of work cut out to get our fundamental core Dapps plugged into the rest of the ecosystem.
I promise not to say a word.
Yeah, while fighting the FUD and everything, and going through the shitstorm that Hex has had to go through as well.
Real quick, here's a question. I've seen it pop up in the chat multiple times. I don't know if you guys want to give an explanation, but a lot of people, this guy says, "Why afraid to show your face?" So I don't know if you guys wanted to say a public statement, or
it's just legal stuff at the moment. You know, we've got everything going on in the background and everything, and I prefer not to at the moment.
Yeah,
you know, is there a law stating I've got to show my face?
No, I just showed my face.
No. Yeah, if not, that's fine. You know, I respect anyone's whatever. You know,
there's also a lot of shit cunts out there. So at the same time, it's like I don't want to feed them people. I don't want them to have any ammunition. You know, and it's like at the same time, I just want people to know everything we are doing is being done with pure intentions. You know, there is no scam thing here going on. It is not. We haven't designed a scam. We've designed an economy that sits on top of Hex, and everything we've tried to do is to assist Hex, you know.
And we literally hired somebody who's a blockchain expert who saw that very thing, because that's what we told him. We said, "This is what we want you to see," and he said, "Well, it doesn't matter what you want me to see. I'm going to follow the money and the data, and that's what I'm going to follow, and that's it." And we sat and we explained for 6 hours. 5 to 6 hours, our entire ecosystem to this guy who's owned his own tokens, who's in the blockchain. He's an expert, a blockchain expert. And when he got done with that 4 hours, he sat back in his chair and he looked at the white paper that he had created, all the numbers and all the Dapps and all of this. And he just literally said, holy shit, you guys are onto something here. Can I get involved? so it's like, hey, you know, I don't know what to tell you. I mean, I'll be quiet.
Why? Why? You're spot on. What you just said was spot on. And it's like, you know, we've just got to, we just need time, really. That's it. And it's like, over time, things will get done. And I think if people like even just take a step back and say, all right, well, you know, you either believe in us or you don't. And that's understandable, whether you do or you don't. You know, it's up to you. It's not anyone else's decision or whatever. It's your own decision based on your own research or whatever. But at the end of the day, why would we still be here now if we were a scam? I just don't get it. Why would we still be here? It's like, you know, what's that one say?
We must be good scammers.
Hang on. I think what would calm this down is let's talk about what's been done and what Hexy does well. If you talk about stuff like that, that's not done its promises. And that's what the Hex culture is against. What? If you talk about stuff.
Oh, yeah, they want 100% launched. So they want the tracks to be built before, you know.
Well, you can't. Hang on. When you build a city, you don't just build a whole city and it's done, do you? You start with a central part, you know, or you start with the infrastructure. That's all we've done. V2 is just the infrastructure of the ecosystem, and the infrastructure is 100% complete. It's as simple as that. It was 100% complete at V1. And it's just there's a lot of people out there that want to try and argue that point, and it's like they have zero argument because the part they didn't like, which was the centralized dividends date. Sorry, not the centralized dividends date. That the centralized dividends is that they got paid over and beyond what was meant to be paid, and that's complete and finished. We're now at V2, which is a fully immutable contract. It's like, you know, what are they hating on exactly? You know, where is their hate coming from? What, the price? Well, are they hating on Hex? That Hex was what, 70% down from a few weeks ago? Is that where we're at now? 70% down from a few weeks ago, or 60?
I think like 60. Yeah.
Is it what percent is it, Ryan, that we're down from Hex?
He says 60.
1 second here. We just pull it up.
You know, and this isn't me like digging on Hex or whatever. This is me just saying,
no.
This is crypto. You know, this is what happens, and people need to realize this is what happens.
Yeah, like 60% currently. Yeah. And in February, we did like a 70% drop.
Yeah.
So I mean, who knows? Maybe we'll do 70% again. Maybe not.
Did you cry when that happened?
Huh?
Did you cry when that happened?
No.
Did I? Do you know why? Because you're clued up and you know what you're doing. That's why you didn't cry, and that's the same reason I didn't cry when that happened. Because we understand crypto, we get what happens, you know. And it's a shame that a lot of people in crypto don't get this. You know what I mean? And it's like, you know, they don't get that these things happen. And it's like, at the same time, it's like you just need to be educated on this stuff, that it can happen. Crypto is volatile; it always has been, you know. And at the same time, the beauty I'd say about what, say, even with Hex and Hexy, like if you say both of them in the same category, it's like at the same time, like we're at the very beginning. We're not at the end of what we're trying to do. So at the same time, we have the potential to grow exponentially, because we're just at the very beginning of what we're doing. Obviously, that's going to depend on whether the community believe in the project or whether they want to see like where we're at or whatever. But, you know, at the same time, this is where we're at. You know, it's like, yeah, we took a hit on Uniswap or whatever with the liquidity of Hexy, but at the same time, so is Hex. You know, Hex is down 60%. We're down 50% or just over 50%, maybe over 50% now. I don't know. Haven't looked in the last few hours.
It all boils down to what's coming, and is it, you know, how soon? Like, people want to see this stuff done now. Nobody has any patience in this crypto game. I'm starting to learn, but it is what it is. You know, it's like when hexydex.win launched and hexydex.com launched, that took a whole 3 days to get that done, and it's like nobody even realizes how hard this stuff is. Like Richard has said in many of his live streams, coding is hard. You know, getting this stuff done is hard. It takes time. And we're just laying the tracks. Like I said, we're here for a long time. So we're just going to keep laying tracks. And the people that are in the channels and they see us laying these tracks, they see when the UI gets, gets percentages added for the amount of gas, when they see this gets changed or that gets changed. It's like that takes time. And those things, it's all being done on top of Hex because we believe in Hex and we believe that we have the ability to help. That's all.
Mm-hmm.
Any more questions?
Yeah. Let me see here. Hexy, I didn't lose trust with the Hexy ecosystem. Let weekends go. People jumping projects. Hey, what's the value in the use of the Hex project? Hey, what's the value in the use of the Hex project? That's the first.
The Hex. What is the use? What?
I don't know.
Do they know what a time deposit is or a certificate of deposit? Because if they don't know what that is, then I don't know how to help them.
Yeah.
But yeah. Hex is a certificate of deposit, and it works tremendously.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, is there any more questions? Anybody or any final kind of things you guys want to touch on? Anything you want to, since we're all here together, just kind of, anything you guys wanted, or anybody out there in the audience, any final questions, anything?
Hey, Lotto, you want to talk about the white paper at all, or what we're going to call the blue paper? Because every white paper that we tried to find to be able to use as a template for an honest white paper, we couldn't find one.
I've written 3 white papers for this project, and at the same time, that's the only stuff I've written because I designed it is probably the only stuff at this point that matters. But there's a lot of things we're adding into the white paper. There will be a white paper as well, but the reason I don't hold that white paper as high priority is because of 2017. And I know Bitcoin's got a white paper, and this is why every project feels they need one. But white papers just take me back to 2017, and like I say, it was just the same old thing. I see loads of beautiful white papers, really well written. And at the end of the day,
they were all a sales pitch to be able to get you in.
Yeah. I don't think the white paper is like the priority at the moment. There's a light paper that's like a brief outline of what we do. And then, like I say, the main thing I want to get sorted right now is just glitches in the UI, and get things displaying properly. But we could have took an extra 3-4 days, but if we'd have taken that, we'd have made the wrong move as well.
So real quick, since I have the UI here, you just want to kind of just I don't know, pinpoint or just kind of talk about the thing that I know this is being worked on, being updated here.
Correct. So that would say 24,441 out of 1.5 million.
Yeah, so I guess this is currently being worked on.
Yeah.
And then I guess the other things is there some kind of a small glitch with this claim thing here, correct? Or something?
That's it. That'll just show up. That should show up 24 hours how much whether you've claimed, and then it should show up how much you've got to claim. And also, if you actually scroll further down, what we need to add in there is how much your dividends were daily. So because there's 4 different lots of dividends, we need to display for each personal user how much yours was, and we want to go I think 3 days back with that. And the problem that we've got at the moment is actually taking the historical Ethereum data from the smart contract. So I think they've just got to do the UI in a different way. But the actual devs who wrote V2 are going to be working on that UI from Monday. So I was hoping they were going to get it done over the weekend, but they've got the weekend off, But
yeah,
and as well with all the work they've done.
Okay, cool. And then real quick, do you want to just do a quick explanation of like the capitalize button and unfreeze?
Yeah. So unfreeze just unfreezes your amount that you have in there, and capitalize just invests the interest back into that freeze and restarts the 7-day freeze again.
Okay.
And I think there's actually a bug with that at the moment where it's showing people having an available balance, but they don't. But again, that's just part of the UI bug. So these things are going to be worked on from Monday, from the actual dev team who put V2 together, and from there, hopefully, them issues will be completely resolved.
Yeah.
It just takes a little time.
Yeah. So, if there's anything else you guys want to touch on or what, or I mean, I feel like it's been a good talk. You're just kind of clearing everything out, just kind of getting everything out there in the open after last night.
Yeah.
And it was great. It was great to just have it, hear from you guys.
Yeah. Another thing I want to say is to all the people who have actually supported this project, a massive thank you to you lot. So you yourself, Ryan, as well. We've got some brilliant YouTubers, content creators, everybody who's like pulling their weight and doing their part. We've still got the promo to go out, the promo Hexy for the content creators and everything. We've still got the promo Hexy to go out, which was part of the early adopters prize pool. So that's still got to go out. I think we said we wanted to do it yesterday or the day before. What we're bound by at the minute is when these devs get back and sort this UI out. So at the end of the day, just to anybody who's had any positive input into this project, and like even the FUDsters in this like statement, just thank you for making it work and getting us to where we are. But mainly to the people who have had the positive light. Because at the end of the day, without all you people, it wouldn't be possible. Thank you to all the big whales who have invested and actually believed in the project, because they've kind of helped get us to where we are. And even all the small fish, there's a lot of small fish at the minute with the current contract with the gas prices and things like that. We've got this problem with Ethereum at the moment with gas prices, which is causing the little fish not to even be able to claim dividends.
Oh, yeah.
We are looking into solutions for all this. We've all been there. We've all only started with a small amount of crypto or whatever, or been in these situations. So at the end of the day, we are looking for solutions for these guys. We're not just out for ourselves and everything else. We're giving 90% of everything we get back to the community.
Yeah, and then also just to add, the 20% referral was just completed, right? And
anybody can copy and paste their referral link into their bar. Make sure you've got your wallet address in the search bar
right here, right?
If you use transforms, you will get a 20% bonus. And like I say, if you're worried about the Uniswap price, well, just think of one of them strategies. If everybody bought a bit off Uniswap and everybody done a bit through transforms, it's gonna basically alter that price dramatically, and it's not actually going to take a lot on Uniswap to alter that price. And then what it will do is it can cause dividends going through the system, and it can cause buys on Uniswap, which ups the price of the HXY token on Uniswap. And that's just simple maths. That's nothing else more than that.
Mm-hmm. And if the community is listening, which I'm sure you are, that's one point that you definitely want to continue on with the future.
Yep. So, all right. Well, yeah. Is that it then?
I think maybe what we'll do is we'll give it maybe a week or whatever. Let us go and roll out some of these these updates to the UI and things like that. Let's get some of this sort of stuff done. And like I say, just keep doing what you're doing. If you believe in Hexy, then just keep on with it. All we can do is quite a bit of the FUD and try and express exactly what we are and what we're not. And at the end of the day, people can either choose to believe that or they're not going to. And it's like we can't be any more transparent than that. It's like that's just how it is.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate you guys coming on today, and it was great to have you guys, just to hear it from you guys, just talking and everything. I think that was great hearing you talk back and forth about different things, and I think that was awesome. And going forward, maybe we can do some more streams, and once we get the UI cleaned up and everything, I'd love to have some stuff in the future too.
Yeah, definitely. I think it would be good to do a stream for every DApp that comes out. So then people can just relate back to that stream if they need to, for sort of
that's
how to use it and that as well. So we've got another great guy in the community called Income Power. Massive thank you.
Oh yeah, he's great. He's great.
Yeah, his videos have been solid.
He's really good, man. It's been very good information.
Yeah, top show, and like yourself, you've come into this stream with an open mind. You're not biased. You're just you're just this is what it is, and. At the same time, with all this Discord syndicate stuff going on at the minute, it's refreshing to have people like you who are just not sitting on the fence, but you're looking from it from the outside instead of being caught up in this maximalist little group or whatever, you know. And it's like I don't think them sort of groups do any good for any project, if I'm truthfully honest. If anything, they probably deter people away from stuff. Do you know what I mean? Because it shows people that you've got like this herd mentality sort of within one project, which I don't think
I've been called a cultist. I don't know how many times trying to talk about Hex. It's like, it's crazy. You're in a cult, man. You're in a cult. I got my buddy tells me, "Oh, it's like you're selling Amway." I was like, "Come on, man, leave me be, man." Right?
Yeah. Well, again, it was great having you guys on. I really enjoyed the talk. And in the future, we can, maybe do some streams for, like you said, any upcoming Dapps or anything, or once the UI gets cleaned out and everything.
Definitely.
So
100%.
Yeah.
Good talking to you, Ryan.
Yeah. You too.
Yeah,
you too. It was great. It was great.
And you also, Andre 369. Thanks, man.
Andre as well, man. Yeah. I think he said his phone died, so that's why he had to go.
Cool.
All right.
So
we still recognize you.
Yeah,
Thanks,
Andre.
man.
Yeah. So, all right, guys. Yeah. Well, I guess that's it.
I didn't forget to say another thank you as well to the man himself, Richard Hart, as well, because without
for sure,
none of this would be happening without him whatsoever. So, Richard Hart on this stream, thank you, mate.
Thank you, Richard Hart. Really deep down. Thank you, man.
Yep.
Yeah.
You've changed our lives, my man.
And the Genesis whale as well, and I hope
him as well, man. I wonder I wonder sometimes, like, if he reads the telegrams or he watches YouTube. I wonder.
Yeah. If you were a billionaire, you might be bored sometimes. Hopefully he's bored right now. Right.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for him, Richard wouldn't have anything to build on. So thanks to all of you guys. Yeah.
Legend. All right, nice one, people. Thank you. We'll catch up soon.
All right, guys. Have a good one.
Okay. You too, man. Later.
See you guys.
Bye.
Later.